Hey, welcome to the show. Every Sunday afternoon, we answer your home improvement questions. My name is Jared Mellick. Sitting next to me is my father, Ken.
Hey, everyone.
Surprise, surprise.
This show is all about your questions, so we're looking forward to your calls.
Where are you? You're in the house. Hey, welcome to the show. That's right, In the House with Ken and Jared. Every Sunday afternoon, we come in and answer your home improvement questions. We'd be honored if you'd be a part of the show. Now, what types of questions can we answer here? Very good question. Let me answer that for you. Pretty much anything having to do with home improvement. If you have a project that you're working on and you want to know how to get to the next step, or if there's something in the house that you need to fix, you want to know how to get started with it, this is the place to be. Structural questions, electrical, plumbing, anything having to do with home improvement. Again, the number's 407-297-9696. Toll free 855-297-9696. My name is Jared Mellick. Sitting next to me is my father, Ken.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and taking your time now to tune in. We really appreciate it. So look forward to your call.
For sure. Our guest today is Jeff Russell. He's with Quikrete. Welcome to the show, Jeff. How are you?
I'm great, guys. Thanks for having me on today. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I'm still recovering.
Yeah. I know. What's interesting is that every single year at the end of the day, I'm always like, oh, why did I eat so much? Next year, I'm not going to. And every year I continue to do the same thing over and over again. And I love it.
I just sleep it off.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson to learn, right?
Yeah. Amen. I can attest to Ken sleeping it off. We finished eating, and I wanted to ask my dad something, and so I looked around for him. I'm like, where the heck is Ken? And I walk by one of the couches, and he's slouched down, literally falling asleep, sleeping on the couch.
True story. It was crazy.
Hey, that's the best part of it, though, right?
We're gonna blame it on the tryptophan in the turkey. It's not. It's not because he's a lazy eater. It's the tryptophan. So.
I remember my grandfather doing the same thing, and now I have 17 grandchildren, and I'm the one falling asleep on the couch.
Yep, you are the old guy. It's official. All right, so we have today Jeff Russell. He's with Quikrete, and I think everybody knows Quikrete. And the thing is, though, is there's so many projects and there's so many things that we can use Quikrete for. And I'm in the process of remodeling a house, and I was making a little mental note right before the show about how many of the projects that I had to do and that I'm still going to do that I end up using Quikrete materials on. And like, for example, I added on like a little new front entry, and I poured the footers. And so I had to use Quikrete in order to pour the footers. I actually replaced my soffit and fascia, and my stucco didn't extend higher up than what my soffit did. I actually raised my soffit, my outer edges. And so now I'm going to have to use Quikrete to patch the stucco there. I've got some cracks. I've got to use patching compound. I'm thinking about I'm actually doing pavers, and so I've got to use Quikrete as the outer edge to keep those pavers in place. So it's amazing how many projects that I do, and I know that our listeners do as well, where they end up using the Quikrete brand of products.
Yeah, that's true. People probably don't realize that Quikrete manufactures more than 200 different products, and from everything from sealers to stucco repairs to shotcretes for commercial work. I mean, it's really, in the 70 years we've been around, they have really increased the product lines that we carry. And so just about any type of cementitious repair or new construction project you have that requires any cement-based type product, we probably have a product for that.
Now, one of the things that I see that's really common down here is crack issues in stucco. I mean, it just seems like every house has a crack problem. What are some things that people should do in relation to that?
There are a lot of the tract homes down here in Florida, and one of the common things that I see on a regular basis is cracks around the corners of the windows, running out diagonally, those type of cracks. And we have a stucco crack repair that you can use to fill those cracks. It comes in a caulk tube or that cork patching compound, stucco compound as well. It's ready to use out of the tub. One of the key things to do with when you have a crack running like that is to, usually they're hairline cracks that you see. You want to chisel those out. You want to get it chiseled out to about 1/4 of an inch in width. Once you get it chiseled out, take a wire brush, scrub it down to get any loose particles off, and then dampen that crack. And then cut your caulk tube to about 1/4 inch to where it puts out about 1/4 inch bead, and just run that caulk tube down that crack. And after you've got the bead ran down the crack, just take a little margin trowel and kind of smooth it over, texture it over in comparison to the stucco. That particular patching material is a cream type color, but it can be painted as well to match the color of your home. But what that does is by chiseling out that crack and filling that crack, that's going to keep that crack from expanding even more. It's kind of a latex-based patching compound that's got a little bit of cement in it as well with some aggregate, and it will kind of expand and contract. I know we don't have the freeze-thaw cycles here, but it'll give a little bit, and that'll help keep that crack from continuing to grow.
Well, we do have significant temperature changes that happen here, and a lot of times what happens with our temperature changes are not necessarily freeze-thaw like what we have in other parts of the U.S., but what we have down here is we'll have like a super hot day, like the surface temperature of things will sometimes be 130, 140 degrees because they're getting direct sunlight, and then we have afternoon rain showers that will come along. The rain will automatically hit, so it goes from 140 degrees, to 70 degrees really fast. And so that also causes problems with the stucco down here.
Right. It'll cause that stuff to shrink in a hurry. Or the heat will cause that flash set. And it's so vital to keep those patches, or if you're doing new construction with stucco, to keep that stucco damp as you're working with it. I mean, after you've gotten it on the wall, keep that material damp for 3 days to cure like a fog mist on it. And because the better cure you get out of it, the less cracking you're going to see as well. Curing is such a vital part of your repair work and your new construction work with stucco materials, because it is an aesthetic product. It's not really a structural product,
right?
But it's applied at typically, a regular 3-coat system could go up to 7/8 of an inch thick, but a lot of these tract homes, you're probably looking at 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of stucco on these homes, so they're more likely to crack, and you're more likely needing to do those repairs.
Yeah, it's one of the main problems with stucco down here that we find is them not putting the stucco on thick enough, and so then what happens, or not letting it cure properly, and then it ends up getting all kinds of cracks around, so you end up having to use patches, and you want to patch it once. You don't want to have to patch it every single year, and doing it properly is a key. And one of the things that you talked about initially in this, there was 2 steps that I think that are the two. Well, actually, I think there's 3 problems that happen. One is not using a good enough patching compound. So starting out with the wrong product first of all. But the other 2 problems that I think that people don't necessarily do is, one, clean out the crack properly so that way it will adhere, and the second thing was wet it that you talked about. Those are really, I believe, 2 of the most important steps in the repair process.
No, you're absolutely right. If you do not, these cracks typically, because I have them on my house, just like everybody else out there does, and you'll notice there'll be fine cracks, and you're like, well, how are you going to get material into those? Because it's such a fine, you're looking at less than a 16th, maybe a 16th of an inch type crack. Those have to be chiseled out because your repair material must have something to adhere to, and it must be able to get down into the crack. In such a hairline crack, if you just put the material on top, you're just covering it up. You're not actually repairing the issue that you have going on there. So when you chisel that out to about a 1/4 inch in width, you have room to get your material down in there and fill that entire crack, and then brushing it out, cleaning it out, gets any loose particles, because the problem, if you have loose particles and dust and maybe the paint chips or anything like that, those are bond breakers. And if you have a bond breaker that's in between your new stucco patch and your old stucco that you're repairing, either the patch isn't going to adhere and it's just not going to perform properly, and you're going to be doing it again in a year.
Now, the thing is that one thing that I think people think about, or one of the misconceptions, is that the cracks on the stucco are just an aesthetic issue, that it's not going to cause any damage. That, yes, it's unsightly, but, that's really it, so it's not a big deal if I patch these. But a crack is a hole. And, the thing is that stucco, along with the paint that's on the outside of it, that serves as the exterior waterproofing. And if you have those cracks all over the place, then wind-driven rain, if it blows the right direction, can actually get inside there, can come inside the house, cause moisture and mold problems. And so this is not, a minor issue. This is something that we do need to fix.
Absolutely. I mean, I have seen cases where there's been cracks, like on the corner of a building or a home, where there's a crack on the corner of the home, and then maybe on that head joint on the block that they were using, there was a hole in the block. Well, moisture is going to go to the path of least resistance, and I've seen plenty of times where that gets in through the stucco, in behind the stucco, runs down the block, looks for a hole to get in, and then it just migrates down, and it can get. Yeah, you're exactly right, Jared.
So we're talking to Jeff Russell. He's with Quikrete. We're answering stucco, cementous-type material questions, but all types of questions are okay with us today on In the House. We're licensed building contractors, and so we can answer those home improvement questions that you have. Numbers are 407-297-9696, toll-free 855-297-9696. Let's go to the phones really quick. Let's talk to Tony in Orlando. Tony, you're in the house. Go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question.
No problem.
I don't know if you had an experience with this particular. My question is related to a repair, not to improvement.
Okay.
I live in a residential townhouse home, and I'm a tenant in this house. Mm-hmm. And for about a year now, our master bathroom, the tub, which is an oval tub, the brand is, I think, is a Sterling. It's a plastic tub. Mm-hmm. Every time that we step into the tub, we start hearing the cracking noise. Mm-hmm. And gradually, it's increasing. So to explain this to my landlord, I'm having a little problems, because she's asking, well, what is exactly happening? So I went to Ferguson, which distributes this type of a tub. They said, well, this seems to be a structural problem, not a tub problem. Would you give me some enlighten me on this?
Sure. But Tony had a question. He has a Sterling tub, and he has noticed that there's been some cracking noises that have been happening when he gets in and out of it. Is that correct, Tony?
That is correct. And
okay.
It's very annoying and is increasing in sound, and wakes me up when my wife is taking a shower, or vice versa. Sure. So I was told to call a plumber. I don't want to call a plumber here, just because there's nothing visual.
Sure.
So the tub, I would expect needs to be removed in order for anyone to see if there's a leak. Sure. That's causing this cracking underneath,
yeah, and it's just a cracking noise. You haven't noticed any moisture or anything like that, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So this is actually a fairly common problem with specifically with Sterling tubs, actually. Now, the thing about these non-reinforced kind of plastic, sometimes they're PVC, sometimes they're fiberglass, but these non-reinforced tubs is a lot of times they are not reinforced underneath of them very well. So you can have, when you go in, the plastic, the weight actually presses down on it and causes a shift in the actual material and causes a cracking noise. Now, in tubs where they don't have a lot of reinforcement, like for example, I just replaced a tub in my house, and one of the things that we did, because I know that this is a problem where when you get in a tub, it can be weak, where it can actually shift underneath of you or move. We actually tested a number of different tubs before we decided on buying the one that we ended up buying, and part of what we looked at is the structural support underneath of it. Like, for example, the one that I ended up buying had two kind of 2x4 supports that go underneath of it as strength. And a number of the Sterling tubs don't actually do that. In installation, though, what they recommend is that you put an additional piece of mortar or concrete underneath of where the actual bottom part of the tub is, just as additional structural support, and then you don't get that cracking or popping noise because it's not actually flexing down when you stand on it.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think would be the solution for me to suggest to my landlord? Because of course, I'm not going to pay for this repair, but is that wise to call a plumber here? For what would the plumber do?
Well, the only thing that I don't know that there's really a whole lot that you can do. If you can get the tub out without removing the tile around it or anything like that, then sometimes you could grab a bag of Quikrete and actually put it in underneath of that section as additional support. But if you can't get the tub out without causing damage, then I don't know that there is a whole lot that you can do other than put up with the noise.
Well, but is that a solution? Is that because we needed to have this taken care of?
Sure.
But I don't want to call a plumber here. He's going to say, "Well, we have to remove the tub, from the wall and then look underneath." Is that the route to go with this?
There is no solution other than that. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean,
it needs the support, and without getting the support, you're not going to get it fixed. So you got to tell him either he's got to fix the support or you got to put up with it, one of the two.
And then by removing this tub, would the tub be damaged, or can be removed without compromising the integrity of this tub?
Well, typically it can be removed and reset. I'm not necessarily concerned about damaging the tub in the process as much as wherever it connects. Like if there's tub that transitions, a lot of times there's a lip and then there's tile that transitions over the top of it.
Right.
So it's the tile and things around it that you actually get concerned with. Now, if it's just a noise, then
it's just loud enough to wake somebody up.
The point where we really get concerned is if it actually does crack. I mean, then you have moisture problems and mold problems. But if it's just the noise making, I don't know that it's really enough of a big deal where it justifies going in and
my
patching
landlord
it.
might not go along with the repair.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, somebody might suggest that whoever steps in the tub be a little bit thinner and maybe lose some weight or something. I wouldn't suggest anything like that.
I'm not overweight.
Okay. I'm not. I wasn't saying.
We're
I'm
not
just
going
saying.
there.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
No, we are the average individuals. It's just that this noise is so annoying that, as I said, you can hear in the family room below the second level. So if I have if I'm
sorry, we got to interrupt.
Thanks, bud. We got to go to break. Earmuffs. That's our solution. All right, bud. Thanks a lot. So our guest today has been Jeff Russell with Quikrete. And Jeff, most of our questions seem to be today about stucco cracks. This is something that is really common down here in Florida. But you guys actually have products there at Quikrete for almost anything.
Oh yeah, anything from your sidewalk cracks, stucco cracks, building block walls with no mortar. We have polyurethanes for your cracks in your driveways or sidewalks. So setting cement for, like, if the steps have the corners broken off, you can sculpt and mold these materials to meet that. Just virtually any type of repair product repair that you have around the home that involves concrete or cement, we have an option for you.
And the other thing is your website is a great resource. If you out there have some sort of concrete type of project that you want to do, you can go to their website, which is Quikrete.com, and really just search by project type, and there's all kinds of great information. Yes,
absolutely. There's how-to videos, how to do certain projects, how to lay a block wall, how to fix a sidewalk crack that you have, just multiple different projects, how-to videos that we've included on the website. It's a new feature that we have, everything on how to mix concrete, anchoring bolts, setting pavers, waterproofing, sealing and waterproofing cracks in concrete, setting a mailbox post, resurfacing a driveway, just anything and everything that you could possibly do with our products. We have a how-to video on those, and it gives you your list of materials needed and shows you how to do the project. It's a great tool to use for the homeowner if they're doing a project. Absolutely great tool. And
again, if you want more information, it's Quikrete.com. And this next year, we actually have we're extending the partnership. You guys have been great partners with us for years now. And this next year, we're going to have some great segments on the show that Quikrete is going to be a part of, and so we're excited about that for sure.
As are we, and we certainly do appreciate you having us on, and we appreciate the listeners purchasing our products and helping us have a successful year, and hopefully 2013 will be just as well.
For sure. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
All right, bye-bye. Bye. All right, let's go to the final caller for this week's show. Let's go to Mark in Edgewater. Mark, you're in the house. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, Mark, thanks for your call.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
My question is, I've got a block home. My garage sticks out 14 feet further than the dining room and my daughter's bedroom, and I'd like to bring the front of the house out that 14 feet. Mm-hmm. How do I know if I need to go up with the roof in the pitch, or if I just need to extend my roof out and go to a different pitch on the front part of the house?
Sure. I mean, the distance is going to determine that in your existing pitch, and then the style of roof that you do as well. I mean, those are the factors that are going to play into it. So, for example, whether we did a hip style roof or a gable style roof or what we call a shed style roof when we do that addition. And so usually what we will do is we'll do some preliminary drawings in advance so that we can kind of show you what it would look like with those different sections. And then, a lot of times we will need to make that section either more steep or less steep than the other areas in order to get the ridges or the valleys to line up properly.
Well, okay. You should be able to make it look like the opposite side. In other words, if you got the garage coming out 14 foot on the left side and now you're going to do the right side, you should be able to make them look the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously it's going to depend on the width. Like, for example, let's say that the front section that comes out is 20 foot wide, where the right section is only 14 foot wide. But what you do want to do, I mean, and one of the things that we focus on a lot, we do a lot of additions and remodeling. And it's really a specialty because, I tease sometimes that anybody can build a house or anybody can draw a new house. It's something else to do a remodel or an addition. And the best additions are ones that don't look like additions. They look like ones that have been there the entire time. And I think that that's one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is that they say, okay, I just need more area, so I'm just going to plop this new piece onto my house. And then when you walk in the house or you walk up to the house or you drive by, it looks like it was an addition, and you will always get far less money as a return on your investment when you do it poorly than if you do it right. So I want you to spend a lot of time on the front end in the planning, making sure that you see copies of drawings and you look at layout and how it's going to attach and how it's going to look afterwards, so that way it looks like it's a good quality addition and not something that you just plopped on the front of your house.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, and we'd be honored to be a part of that project. We're building contractors. We do remodels. If you end up wanting to call our office and get a quote from us, our estimates are always free. And our office number is 407-295-7403. Again, 407-295-7403. name of our business is Universal Roof and Contracting. We have two divisions. We have a roofing division and a construction division. So
thank you.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate your call. Bye. We do appreciate him as a caller, plus all of our great callers that called today. And as you just heard in my description with him, we not only come here and answer your questions every week. Part of the reason why we're qualified to do that is that on a daily basis, we're out there in the trenches, out there digging trenches and building additions. And so we know what it takes to do it, and we would love if you would call us and let us be a part of your next project. If maybe you're thinking about doing a remodel, maybe you're thinking about changing out your kitchen or your bathroom,
or maybe you're just thinking about re-roofing your house. Maybe you have hail damage, storm damage to your house. You've got some leaks going on. We specialize in that, and so give us a call at the office. Jared and I will be out. And we'll take a look at it for you and give you our advice. Obviously, as Jared mentioned, everything we do to come out and give you an estimate is always free. And you can reach us at the office at 407-295-7403. And give us a call. We'd love to come out.
There's a couple things going on between now and the end of the year. First of all, on the roofing side of the business, this is the best time of year to do a roof. I mean, it's not leaking. I mean, it's not raining. Yep. And so this is really the best time. And so we're having simple supply and demand says that things are more expensive when everybody else is doing it and less expensive when everybody isn't. And this is historically slow time of year for roofing. And so if you know that in the next couple of years you're going to have to get a roof done anyways, I would suggest that you call now. We're actually having some huge specials between now and the year. We're also having a 12-month same as cash, no interest, no payments for 12 months.
Nice.
So you can actually get your roof done in December and not pay for it until next December. I mean, it's again, the number is 407-295-7403. That's not just for roofing. That's actually for all of our home improvements. It is with approved credit, but again, we'd be honored to be part of your next project. Again, Universal Roof and Contract.